case briefs, and so much more. LSData's got what you're looking for.
When a Michigan man named Morissette discovered an abundance of discarded bomb casings on a government bombing range and sold them for a modest $1.84, he likely didn't anticipate his actions would lead to a Supreme Court case. Regardless, in 1952, his act of salvage in the name of thrift became the crux of Morissette vs. United States, a case centered on the notion of intent in committing a harmful act. Morissette had been previously honorably discharged from the Army after World War II and had no history of criminal activity. His defense rested on the idea that he did not know the bomb casings belonged to the government and, thus, had no intent of illegally converting government property. However, the lower court ruled in favor of the government, arguing that ignorance of ownership was not a viable defense and implying that the mere act of taking suggested an intention to commit a crime. This interpretation ran counter to Morissette's expectation that both a wrongful act and a feeling of guilt were necessary to be convicted of a crime. Believing he was wrongfully convicted, Morissette appealed. His case landed before the Supreme Court, whose interpretation of the issue placed a heavy emphasis on legislative intent and the question of whether a defendant's mental state at the time of the act in question influenced the commission of the crime. In a decision that reversed the lower court's ruling, the Supreme Court asserted that an act does not automatically become a crime without proof of intent. The judges argued that the absence of such context may lead to wrongful convictions. They further stated that the role of determining this intention lies with the jury, not the judge, based on careful consideration of all surrounding circumstances, including the defendant's testimony. 2 justices concurred in the result. Thus, a man's genuine lack of malicious intent in salvaging bomb casings led to clarifications in the meaning and importance of intent in criminal law. Critics and supporters alike agree. This ruling set a precedent for future cases concerning the differentiation between innocuous acts and deliberate crimes.
Case briefs, and so much more. LSData's got what you're looking for. Visit lsd.law, elevate your mind. Leave the stress of class.